Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another video podcast of Political News Time. I am your hostess, Alex Mayers. I hope all of you are having a really good morning this particular morning. Just to catch up with me a little bit, I have decided to get back into the gym. I've been working out at home and I've been going to the park and everything, but as of today, I got back into the gym in the morning because I'm becoming much more of a morning person. So I'm feeling really amped up, feels great. And, all of you who like to follow me, I do encourage all of you, at least for the rest of the year, wake up early, be as productive as possible. That way you go into 2020 feeling good, on a good schedule, and prepared to be the best that you can be. So anyway, yesterday on toward the end of Political News Time, somebody brought up the issue in regards to some of the Democratic candidates having criticized our past president, Barack Obama, at the most recent town hall meeting, right? So I actually, when somebody brought that up, I was thinking to myself, really? Did that really happen? So I had to research that particular situation myself. And I found an article that I will link up on politicalnewstime.com from politico.eu. And it's titled, "The Fiercest Democratic Debate in 2020 is About Barack Obama. But the first rule is to never say the words Barack Obama." I was actually reading through this particular article on the treadmill this morning. And here's the thing. And it's a very interesting catch-22 that's taking place right now within the Democratic presidential primaries prior to the upcoming nomination next year for the Democratic presidential candidate. We all have to keep in mind that Joe Beiden is running for president, even though he had 2 terms, not just one, but 2 terms as vice president. And being that that's the case, anyone who is running for that Democratic nomination against him has to be very careful in regards to being too pro-Obama when it comes to their political stance, because by being pro-Obama, you are also being pro-Joe Biden, who is running for president. So let's say, for example, Kamala Harris, who actually has been the most critical of Barack Obama since she has announced her presidential candidacy. And she hasn't really dissed him, personally, but she has made it known there's been a few of his policies that she disagrees with, though as a whole, he is her president. She makes a point of saying that Barack Obama is her president. But, for example, let's say Kamala Harris were to say, hey, I loved every single thing that Barack Obama did. She's basically giving a nod to Joe Biden and saying, yeah, basically what I'm saying to you, general public, is vote for Joe Biden because he was the vice president to Barack Obama and forget about me. She can't do that. She can't do that. And, it really does make me question so much when it comes to Joe Biden's being in the running. Because if you read through this particular article that I referenced, so much of 2020 is dependent upon retaining Barack Obama's legacy. Now, in my particular opinion, in my mind, he doesn't have to worry, Barack Obama doesn't have to worry about preserving his legacy because he will always be known as the first black president, right? But for a lot of Democrats out there, and keep in mind, I am a Democrat, but for a lot of Democrats, it's very important that in 2020 we get somebody in office that is basically Barack Obama part 2. I would say that anyone who is, obsessed with Barack Obama, they would most likely want Elizabeth Warren in office, maybe even Beto O'Rourke. I'm not against Beto O'Rourke. I thought that he handled himself amazingly through these past horrific shootings, specifically the El Paso shooting. But he is just so up Barack Obama's ass. I know he has. Well, look, I would not be upset if Joe Biden were to get the nomination. I would not be upset at all if he became our next president. I wouldn't be against that. But I just feel like he's already had 2 terms in office. He was vice president. Look, I get it. It wasn't president. I actually did a whole podcast about this particular issue. But I just feel like it's time for some fresh blood in there. I just wanted to read a few segments from this particular article that really kind of bring home what I'm sharing today. Okay, listen to this. And this is in regards to Kamala Harris. Harris is one of the very few candidates who has taken the risk of criticizing Obama by name, at least so far. Julian Castro, who like Biden, served in the Obama administration, threw a similar jab at Obama's deportation record. Actually, let me go to a paragraph before that. The candidates won't front stab the former president, as that would risk the ire of rank-and-file Obama-loving Democrats. Harris has tried to avoid provoking such a backlash in the June debate, when she criticized Obama's deportation record and Biden's defense of it, by referring to Obama endearingly as "my president." She stressed that the issue was one of the very few issues with which I disagreed with in the administration. Just go through and read this article for yourself. But to the person who was asking about Democrats criticizing Obama, like I said, they kind of have to a degree. It's built into the game simply because of Biden. And that's why I think that Biden is an ass for running for president, because really he is creating divisiveness within the damn Democratic Party. And when he referred to Kamala Harris, when he greeted her at that presidential debate as, don't go too hard on me, kid, I thought that was very condescending. There is something funny about Joe Biden. There really is. I detect a little bit of racism within him, actually. I know a lot of people don't want to say that. A lot of people don't want to look at that because he was vice president to Obama. But there's just something about that man that rubs me the wrong way ever since he's announced that presidency. Really is. It really is. One thing I do want to look more into is Obama's immigration deportation record, because immigration right now is such a huge issue when it comes to this 2020 election. And right now the Republicans are taking the heat for a lot of the immigration and the deportation, which, justifiably to a degree they should. But as I'm researching and as I'm looking more into Obama, and as I start looking at specific stats and numbers, it does make me think again about this damn social media hashtag ADOS movement, American Descendants of Slaves. And Barack Obama definitely always will be my president. Love him. Love everything that he helped to make me feel as an African American. But what a lot of people do have to remember is that even though I believe Barack Obama did have a true African American experience coming up and whatnot, he really is not a American descendant of slavery. He is a Black American, yes. He is African American, yes. His wife is an American descendant of slavery, but Barack Obama is not, even though he is the first Black American president. And I do wonder how much animosity his being the first Black American president truly has manifested within certain sects of the Black community. And, as I look further, if I do find that his immigration record is rather high, that is going to cause me to think of him in a little bit of a different light than I presently do, because America is based on immigration from everywhere. It just is. So to put a cap on it now, I think is actually crippling. what America is. I'm pro-immigration. I feel like if you're able to get here, good for you. If you're able to pop out that anchor baby because it means so much to you to be a freaking American, right on to you. And keep in mind, I'm somebody who does not have any children. It's not that I don't like kids. It's just that I don't want my life to go in that direction. So being that I don't have any children, if other people want to pop out anchor babies, hey, more power to you, because I'm not having any. But you know, a lot of people do blame Obama for this Trump presidency. And after reading Omarosa's book, I think that there's some personal beef that's always been between Trump and Obama that never should have been played out on the world stage, that never should have taken our country down the trajectory that it's gone down. I feel that the beef stems from two incredibly egocentric and narcissistic men, and I think that it should have been dealt with personally rather than our politics having gone in the direction of which it has. Actually, give me one moment, because there is a paragraph, not a paragraph, but a few paragraphs from Omarosa Manigualt Newman's book, Unhinged, that I do want to share with all of you in regards to what may have prompted this Trump atrocity that's currently going on right now. So give me a few moments. I'll be right back. All right, this is page 53 from Unhinged. Let me see what chapter this is. Chapter 4. Okay. I just want everyone to listen to this, because this really kind of outlines, at least from Omarosa's perspective, some things that I believe have been quite personal over the years between Obama and Trump, and that I think inadvertently have manifested on the world stage. Okay? At the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner at the Washington, D.C. Hilton, Obama came out and immediately started roasting Trump about the birther business. Both Donald and I were in attendance. I was sitting probably 7 or 8 tables away from Donald at the dinner. Obama made jokes about Donald Trump's credentials and breadth of experience. Obama continued, quote, "In an episode of Celebrity Apprentice at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks, and there was a lot of blame to go around. But you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was lack of leadership. And so ultimately, you did not blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kinds of decisions that would keep me up at night," end quote. I saw the expression on Donald Trump's face. He was livid. Obama's delivery of the words, the power, were not just funny, they were impactful. His joke about The Apprentice made people at my table glance my way while laughing. Barack said from the podium, quote, "Well handled, sir, well handled," and addressed the crowd. "Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there," end quote. Then on the screen behind him, an image appeared of the White House with a Trump sign branded upon it, like Trump Tower. It was in that moment, in that room, that Donald Trump made the decision not only that he would run for president in 2016, but also that he would take his revenge on Obama's humiliating him in front of all those influential people. I was there to witness it. Not a lot of people can make that connection, but I know what I saw. When Seth Meyers took the mic and called the very idea of a Trump presidency, quote, a joke, I could almost hear Trump's thoughts from a few tables away. Laugh now, but soon enough, the joke is going to be on all of you. Yeah. And again, that's pages 53 and 54 from chapter 4 of Omarosa Manigualt Newman's book, Unhinged. I highly recommend everyone add this book to their reading library, their personal libraries, because I think people should criticize Trump as much as they, not Trump, well, definitely criticize Trump, but criticize Obama too. Because in many ways, those two are two sides of a similar coin when it comes to ego and narcissism. And, you know, to be a president of the United States, you do have to embody a certain level of ego. To reach a certain level of success in life, you do have to embody a certain degree of narcissism. But, unfortunately, I think that a lot of us in the American society are suffering from quite a few American leaders' egos and narcissism. And it's not good. It's not good. Not at all. That's why I think when it comes to who we elect as president, who we elect as our political leaders, a few things do need to be changed in regards to what the qualifications are, what the level of education needs to be, and where the candidates even live. As I was saying yesterday, I like that Cory Booker lives in a true community, not a community behind gates, but a primarily ethnic community. I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. So anyway, that's about it for today's podcast of Political News Time. Sorry it was a little bit scattered, but hopefully I got my point across. Everyone have a great day. See y'all tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.